Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are with another eBay special. Story on this Haskris r400 chiller with a big old tank of water to chill. It's got a little water heat exchanger down in there. Well, we had to get three-phase power put in for it. That was one thing. Here's the outlet. There's the plug. Right there's the plug. You're probably wondering why it's not turned on right now. Well, when it was turned on, first we had to figure out whether or not we had the three-phase hooked up correct. You can get them wires, take any two wires and flip them around, and it's going to reverse the direction on the compressor motor, which is the three-phase motor. That's one issue. Now here's a little display panel when it's on. We did get it to cool maybe 2 or 3 degrees centigrade, and then it would kick out. The compressed Freon liquid pressure would go too high. Just a second here, let me lower my altitude. And that little button there would pop up. And we'd have to push it back down to once it cooled down. Now what was getting too hot? Well, this long tube type thing is a shell tube condenser heat exchanger. It took those hoses from the city water, the building water, ran it through this thing. Well, let me talk about shell and tube. Shell is the outside shell, I think. And tube. Yeah, look at that grungy sludge-coated tubes. Let me take this back plate off. It's not under that much water pressure because the low pressure water from the city feeds in and then flows through those tubes and exits with heat. However, even though I had like 4 gallons per minute flowing through this thing, the thing was overheating, and the liquid leaving, the water leaving, was just, a little bit above cool, lukewarm. So that heat exchange was just not happening. So that's when I had the courage to look on the internet and see what I had here. I took the covers off. Now how do I go about cleaning those little tubes? So those little tubes were cleaned by mixing up a batch of CLR, calcium, lime, and rust. 1 part of this to 1 part of water, and there it is. It's kind of grungy looking because I took this battery operated Milwaukee drill, bit on the end of a test tube cleaner that's fairly long, and that would go into a hole. Oh, I would dip it, get some of that liquid on there, dip it there, and with 2 hands I'd hold that wire. Well, get that pushed in, and run it back and forth to clean those tubes out. So I let the liquid, whatever small amount of liquid would stick to the walls, soak for an hour or so, and now I'm going to put it back together and find out if I have any luck. So that was problem A. And problem B is using up 4 or 5 gallons per minute of your city water. You definitely want to conserve that flow. Only need it when your Freon compressor has started, compressing and condensing the liquid into this area. So right there is something that's going to heat up and go on over yonder, and there's a water valve that will be activated. Turn it on, and then when it cools back down, the pressure in that little tube of liquid Freon in that activator tube will then allow the valve to shut again. Well, lo and behold, over the years that valve has worn out and is simply always on, wasting the water. So first I'm going to check to make sure I got this problem licked with the heat exchanger, and then once that's licked, I'm going to go lick the water valve control problem. Well, there you go. This is your $500 eBay special with $350 shipping. Thanks for watching. Haskris R400.